Hi, everyone. Welcome to SolFest 2022, the Art Share Night portion of the festival. I welcome you to put in the chat any comments or questions that you may have. We have an exciting time planned out for you. So we are going to begin with the short pieces in the next couple of seconds. Again, we're going to have a Q&A panel after the presentations of the monologues. So stick around. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Thank you so much again for joining us this evening. And now we're going to begin. Enjoy.
¿Sabes lo que hay dentro de mí? No sé, pero lo siento en olas. Me ahogo en el mar de idiomas. No entiendo el español. Es como el brote de un árbol. No puede crecer si nadie lo quiere regar. Así, el árbol debe crecer por sí mismo, sin agua, sin jardineros. ¿Y sabes qué? Crece en una forma muy extraña. El brote se transforma en un helecho en vez de ser un árbol. Ay, qué hablador. Lo siento, no puedo parar. No puedo parar. No puedo parar. No puedo parar. Por favor, no me pides que pare, porque el brote no puede parar de mutar. Los patos no pueden parar de gritar y los how do you say, I mean, ¿cómo se dice? Ay, joder, no me importa. Voy a hablar el español que puedo hablar. No me hagas parar, porque patos como mí, nosotros creamos un idioma de nuestra propia originalidad y nadie puede llevarse. En mi país, alguien puede hablar el idioma que quieran. Estoy muy emocionado porque ahora podemos hablar de anime todo el día y Final Fantasy. Ay, ¿cuál es tu favorito? 6 es el mío. Deseo que Terra y Locke fueran juntos hasta el fin. Pero pienso que Terra es demasiado rara para Locke. Qué lástima, porque Locke es muy guapo, ¿no? Quiero un hombre como Locke. Quiero un hombre que me proteja, como el alien que soy. Porque somos el helecho, el alien, el pato. No hay país para nosotros. Estamos creando nuestro propio país en este momento. ¿Cómo crees que debemos nombrar nuestro país?
Baby Love by Daniela Thome.
Hi everybody, everyone settled in okay? Cell phones turned off, yeah? Good. I mean, you can still check if you're not sure. We still have a little bit of time.
5 minutes to places, people! 5 minutes to places!
Thank you, 5. See, plenty of time. Oh, and there was this baby backstage, the cutest, most adorable baby, Stella's baby. Oh, Stella's the assistant stage manager, and her partner just took the baby home. Oh, babies, they love me. Babies and dogs. I mean, I don't know why exactly, but it's always been like that. But having my own baby, I never really was like obsessed with having one. You know, at least I didn't really think about it that much, especially in my 20s. I mean, I'm not really sure what I was thinking about, to be honest. You know, music, creating, writing, etc., and working, obviously. And my attitude was always, you know, if I get pregnant and I'm in a place to have it, then I'll have it, right? But when I reached my 30s, I was finally in a more serious relationship for the first time, and I was an elementary school teacher, so I was really acting as a, you know, real adult, right? So there was the potential for the stability to have children, I suppose, and hopefully, you know, a marriage or a commitment, right? But that relationship was just doomed from the get. And I saw it in my journals when I look back. This guy, this white progressive guy from the Bay Area in California, I mean, a cool guy on paper. You know, he'd spent time in Latin America, so his Spanish was pretty good. He got to UC Santa Cruz, and he still kept in touch. He had cool friends from there. And he and I had met at this job interview, and we were the 2 new teachers hired at that school. Why the hell am I even talking about him? The whole point of that story was that he ended up being a controlling asshole who couldn't deal with me doing my own thing, doing theater, ironically. And so while I was supporting his ass later in grad school, when we were in Iowa, I was paying 2/3 of the rent, working full time, paying the insurance on the car that he sometimes used. And oh my God, he was freaking out because I started doing theater one summer and again in the evening. So the second year doing his grad program, he just couldn't deal. So then why the heck was I going to settle down with him and have kids with him? So I decided, instead of heading back west with him after his program was over, I would follow my old dream and go to New York City to study acting. And guess what? He followed me. He came complaining and grunting the whole time. And it was horrible. He got a job in Jersey, and I was substitute teaching during the day while going to the acting program at night. So my school went to like 10:30 every night. I would get home. He was in a deep sleep, and then he would wake up and leave before I woke up, so we barely saw each other, right? You would think that then we would appreciate each other when we just saw each other on the weekends, but no, he still couldn't handle it. So he would say things to me like, I just need to know, when you become an actress, how many times a week we're going to have dinner together. Can you tell me that, right? And one of the acting teachers, the guy who taught technique, he said on the first day, this work will change your life. And some of you that are in relationships, you may break up. I didn't know it was going to be me, but you know, that's what happened. We broke up, and instead I married New York City, right? So by the time he left, I was about to turn 34 years old, and I started to pay the full rent on a 1-bedroom apartment we had shared for almost a year. So my rent doubled, and my life became about survival. I had to use my credit card to pay groceries, and I didn't have health insurance for a while, but eventually I got a more steady job in a nonprofit, working with families, while still attending acting school at night. And when that became too much, I became a nanny instead. So during that time, because I was, you know, with a little baby around, right? My oldest friend Nina said, well, what about your own kids? Have you thought about that? And I hadn't really, you know. And then when I finished the acting school, I was seeing some other guy who had a small child, but he lived out of state, and he ended up getting back together with his wife. So I trudged on, you know, I moved to Brooklyn, I lost a saxophone, I dated some other friend from college. Oh, we went to a party, and this lady there who I never met, she's like, oh my God, you need to freeze your eggs. Can you believe that? And I was surprised she would tell me, because it seemed like such a strange concept. So I just sort of continued living, and who needs a baby in New York City, where that city is like your family, as it takes all your money and time, and your creative projects become like real babies, right? So anyway, the people that I was still involved with or became involved with were not the fatherly types, like this Latinx playwright who lived in Mexico. I mean, he's brilliant, but quite volatile. So it wasn't until later when I met Carlos that I knew I wanted more, that I felt like maybe with him, you know, because it was like this level of comfort that he radiated. So I knew we wanted to be together, and he moved in. Things felt right, finally felt good. But really, hey, this isn't really about me. This is about the universal topic of fertility in older women, based on much research I've done, mostly through talking with my friends, a subject we all know about, but nobody wants to talk about. And if we're going to talk about fertility, you know what? Let's make it fun, right? And entertaining. Us Latinx folks, or Latinx, you know, we're all about entertaining you, right? Did you even know how many upbeat merengue songs are also political? Huh? Well, who knew? Those of us that speak Spanish do, right? But we won't get all political. We'll bring in the humor. And if we can't laugh about all these struggles, then what is the point? So I thought, what is the best way to talk about these things, these taboo subjects like miscarriages and IVF, than doing a reality game show about it? So, and this is going back to my real roots when I was on the radio and made cassettes of myself, etc. So all of you are so lucky to be at our first show. And this is a show about 4 women and 1 man. We have the 5 contestants, all in their 40s, who want to have a baby. Of course, between you and me, they're all actors playing these roles with different names, as no one really wants to share their intimate details about their fertility journeys in a real live theater filmed in front of a live audience, right? Plus, it's supposed to be on national television, at least Telemundo. Because, let's face it, you know why? Latinos also love these weird reality game show things. We practically invented the genre with good old Sábado Gigante. You know, good old in the way of being sexist and straight up manic, but still entertaining. But don't worry, my show is based on reality. I did my research, real people's stories, people that I'm pretty sure won't really mind to be represented here. And as your host, I cannot, you know, really look just like a woman right now, right? I have to be sort of gender neutral, because how many female evening hosts do you see on your TV? None, besides occasional news hosts. So here I am, as a man, perhaps as a woman, who knows, or just me.
Places, people! Get in your places!
Anyway, I know the show's about to start, so I gotta get in position. Enjoy the music, enjoy the show. I know I will.
And 3, 2, 1, let's go!
So, I'm genuinely in shock, guys. The boss lady, you know who, said that my writing was perfect. As is. Oh, I mean, maybe I have her all wrong. Okay, maybe the abject cruelty and the daily humiliation, I mean, maybe that's just like protective armor. Hey, I mean, she's waged this war with the world like she'd rather fall on her own sword than reveal any vulnerability. Oh. Then you shall have more. I mean, honestly, I don't know what to make of that. Well, I mean, she's boss lady, and NBA and WNBA players throw themselves at her every day on every platform, and you know, she's probably like exhausted, you know, and me and Madanusa, I mean, I'm hanging with Madanusa, and we have like an ongoing development. So, you know, I'm not even. God, you know, the more I think about it, you shall have more. I mean, she's acknowledging this lack, right? And she wants me to, no, I'm not saying that she wants me, or does she? Okay. Okay. Yeah, hey, I'll admit, I've thought about it. Yeah, Diana, and obviously she's very, very good looking. But I mean, she's also goal oriented. I mean, she has like this drive. I mean, she goes hard, and I'm just so soft. I mean, I don't go after what I want. I mean, my writing career, I write more hashtags than I do poems. And my dad, I mean, she made the first move. life just happens to me. No, I just let it happen. But Diana makes it happen. And she's relentless. She's ruthless, which is actually an admirable trait. You know, because I don't mean to sound like I'm not trying to like hire her. I'm just saying that what makes Diana so desirable is everything. It's all these complex ingredients in just one tiny volatile container. Oh no, I don't mean to reduce women to containers. That's not what. So I'm genuinely in shock, you guys. You.
Apollo! Dude, come here. This is fucking crazy, right? Everything happening so fast. You know, stupid. You. Me. Us. Shh. No, don't say a fucking word right now, dude. Because last night was a whole different day, okay? Okay, like real talk, like for real. Like last night when you were supposed to be Apollo and I was gonna be that bitch Aurora, because just like the dawn, I too renew rosy fingered. But my sweet mate Armando, he's a little bitch. I swear to God, him and me, we fixing the box after this because he didn't have to say all that, fucking rat. Baby, don't even fucking sweat it. I'll handle it because I'm that bitch. And in the end, don't even matter because Diana knows you tried to see me. But she fucking loves us. She was all, real feelings? And I was all, what, miss? No. And she was like, y'all should be a couple. He writes good. And I was like, you right. So I like told her like flat out. I was like, Diana, I got feelings for this white man. Like I'm obsessed with you now. Like there's like nothing I wouldn't fucking do for you. Like I would die 200,000 deaths just to be with you. So Diana said she'd hook us up. Like relationship, like hotation. Skrr! I got a man. What? Why I ask Diana? Necio, you know me. Shy.
Do a good job, she said. Ha! You guys want to know how I'm going to make this pig? Then you got to listen. Because it is not a good job we are aiming to do, pero mira, a spectacular one. So you got to listen. Because it starts from step one, which is finding the pig. Once you find it, name it. Hey, wow. Oh, what do you mean not name it? You got to name it. You got to name it because what you're going to love needs a name, and you are going to love this pig. You're going to care for it. You are going to feed it like you are feeding your own baby. Estando engordando for years. Mariano. I loved him. I walked him. Kept in company. Even rubbed the muscles from time to time. It's the life he accepted when we entered the deal. I'll get you a good life, but at the end of it, te voy a comer. And you got to mean that love too. You can't just manipulate it. You want to get the right amount of grasita on him. So when it's time to bite, we can feel it spill through our lips while the rest feed our stomachs. That's his love. That's what the contract dictates. And you must do good on it. The hard part, it's that moment. When you and him must battle. When you got to chase him to put this needle through the neck. Hear him cry as his last sound. Squeal. And when it's over, when the needle is taken from his neck and his blood flows into a cup, we drink a little to celebrate his life. And the rest we save for more siyas. One of the many gifts he leaves as he departs. Love what you're gonna eat, so you can eat better than good. Now, how I prepare him, that's between me and the pig. That's my last act of love, making sure his taste is right. That he is remembered so he never dies. So next time, when we hit that cuerito with the machete and we hear the skin crack, hope that thing was as love as this lechon right here, cause mi gente, we eating good tonight.
Sometimes, rarely, but actually not rarely enough, a fetus has 3 copies of a chromosome. And sometimes it's a fetus that you've begun to think about and you've begun to buy toys and tiny little outfits for, even though you've been warned to wait. Sometimes the fetus has even been named after your abuelita already, and maybe you've even picked out a color for the room because sometimes that thing swimming inside you, the thing with trisomy, is someone you love already. Trisomy. Don't Google it. Especially don't follow the numbers that come after it. 18, 22, 17. Don't Google it. Don't check each one carefully. Crying, checking, cross-checking. If you're a data junkie like me, you can't help learning and looking, your hand on your belly, sitting too far from your monitor because you can't scooch your chair in close enough anymore. You hope. Because hope, feathers, etc. But you're also practical. You always have been. You accept facts. You are someone who believes in science. You are realistic. You still bought those cute little pink onesies at Target, though. And being practical, you moved to Tennessee during the pandemic. You and your husband were able to buy a big house for your boys where they can run around in the backyard. Yeah, it's a little weird, and you don't talk politics with your new neighbors. Maybe they look at you a little funny. Maybe they say they don't habla español, and you rush to assure them, no, no, I speak English. You felt queasy, but you live here now, and you try to make the best of it. Except at 40, you're pregnant again. That was a surprise. Oh my God. But we're out of the apartment. We have space. And well, yeah, Luis is 8, so it's been a while and I am so out of practice. But a girl who I can name Luzmila? Okay. Okay. Phone calls, jokes. I'm already tired. Oh my God. By the time she graduates, I'm going to be how old? But it's funny and it's fun. And my sister comes to take me shopping, and we know we should wait. She's a doctor, but we're excited, and it's so nice to have something to celebrate after COVID. But then your amazing OBGYN, she's cool. She's from Lebanon. You have a Tennessee can be a lot bond, and you could be friends. She gets the weirdness at the grocery store. She laughs and she shares recipes with you. She's really quiet at this sonogram. Really, really quiet, where she's usually chatty. Trisomy. Andres is crying. You're leaning in. Good girl that you are, listening hard. Anencephaly, leaking from brain fluid. Life of the mother. You nod. You nod. You nod. 2 weeks from now, yes. You will arrange for your sister, or maybe Lisa can come out from LA. But on the way home, as Andres tries to make you feel better, a message comes, and then another, and then another. Roe has gone down. That beer swilling moron and that woman they keep trying to call by 3 letters like RBG, but she's definitely her full name, Amy Coney Barrett. They've killed Roe. And the baby is still there, without a skull for its little brain. Still there, still a girl, still killing you from the inside out, still wanted, but she's as good as dead already, and you don't have the medical insurance to afford to give birth to her, even if her brain wasn't leaking into your blood and poisoning you. You could try to give her light, just so you can put on one of those tiny little pink onesies and say goodbye, but that's not what you want. That is beyond your capacity. It was going to be bad enough, the procedure, but now you have to find a clinic that can do it and wait 2 more weeks because of trigger laws and because all the clinics that your doctor has called already are full, and it's going to take a little bit longer. So now you're going to Georgia to stay in a motel the day before they dilate you so you can expel her. You're going to stay another night, do the rest of the procedure the next day, and stay another night because you'll be exhausted, or maybe you'll just die before all that can happen. Ro means egg. Isn't that ironic? Was that on purpose? You ponder as you drink whatever you find in the pantry when you finally arrive home to your 2,500 square foot prison, because who cares about sobriety anymore? The ironic moonshine in a jar that Andres got from his new work is there, unopened. You both rolled your eyes at that, remember? I wonder why you didn't throw it away. Trisomy. You wonder if that drunk rapist on the court could even spell that word, and why did you move to Tennessee anyway? Oh yeah, a backyard for the boys for less than the rent on the condo. Space, quality of life. Quality of life. My life. Her life is slipping away from me. My body isn't mine anymore. And that is what you think as you pack up all the little pink things that you and your sister bought that you're going to give to Planned Parenthood the second you get up off the puddle you've become on the floor. And you wonder whose life has quality in this state, because it sure as hell isn't you.
Those pieces were amazing. Thank you, everybody, so much. I'm going to now bring the artist onto the stream. Oof.
Hola, hola.
Hola, hola. Oh, so good to see all of you. Adrienne, I'm bringing you in as well. Ed, when you're ready. Wow, what an evening. Thank you so much for sharing of all your work. Let's just go around and introduce ourselves. I'm Adriana Gaviria. I'm the producer of SolFest. And let's see, I think everyone has the same view. So Nelson, let's start with you. I think you're on the top, right? The top in the middle?
Yeah, I'm on the middle top. Yeah. Hi, I'm Nelson Diaz-Marcano. I was the one that got you hungry with the lechon monologue. He, him. I think next is Carlos, right?
Yes, exactly.
Hi, I'm Carlos Roa. You can call me Carl or Carlos or Os. I wrote the excerpt from Pase lo que pase, I Will Always Find You, which was the first thing you saw in Spanish if you missed it.
Daniela?
Hi guys, I'm in the PRTT lobby. I wrote and performed the monologue Baby Love about the fertility show.
Audrey?
Hi, my name is Audrey Romero. I played Madre Nusa in This Bitch, Esta Sangre Quiero, written by Adrienne Dawes.
Awesome.
Hola, I'm Diana Burbano, and I performed a piece that I wrote just recently called Trisomy, which is from a new collection that we're putting together called The Abortion Chronicles.
Awesome. Adrienne?
Hi, Adrienne Dawes, she, her, and I wrote This Bitch.
Ed?
Hi, my name is Ed Ventura, he, him, his, and I was performing. I had the privilege to perform the lechon monologue written by Nelson Diaz-Marcano. Put respect on his name, you heard?
Oh, awesome. And Kaylani, who is a SolFest dramaturg, is currently off the stream right now, but she may be joining us a little bit later. Thank you again, everyone, for sharing of your work. So this was quite a new event for the Soul Project. We had never done a series of monologues as part of our festival. I know for me personally, this year I wanted to include many voices in the festival and to continue working with artists that are located all over the country. And I feel like this was a really good way in order to do that. And I love the collaborations that I had with each one of you. For those watching, we did spend online rehearsals. So we did rehearse the pieces and the week before. And then those of you that were watching got to see all the excerpts today. So let's talk a little bit about Carlos's piece. So the first piece that we saw was Guillermo's monologue. We have put a link into the chat and Facebook and YouTube. So if anyone would like to see the translation, it's available there. We're also going to put it on the landing page in northstarprojects.org, so anyone can take a look and read it. But Carlos, talk a little bit about your piece and the play.
Yeah, so what you watched was actually part of this horror play. So I wanted to write a bilingual horror play that was a reflection of the way I often feel in a lot of like Latinx spaces. And it's essentially about these two teenagers. One is from Honduras and the other is from Colombia. And they both encounter two halves of a sentient map. The map can think and talk and, you know, do all sorts of stuff. And it's compelling them to go on a journey to meet each other halfway between the two countries. And also the map is fucked up and evil. So the map really is it's not a nice map. It is a very mean map. And it was probably, it might have been the hardest thing I've ever written. So that's what I'll have to say about that off the top of my head.
Great, thank you. And then Adrienne, can we hear a little bit about your piece and the development history of it?
Yeah, this bitch, Esta Sangre Quiero, is an adaptation of a Lope de Vega comedia from like 17th century. Feels very like Shakespearean, what people say, but Lope was around before Shakespeare, and we're setting it in like today's day with influencers in Tulum, and Made Nusa is a character. In the original, her character is called Marcela, and Teodoro is the secretary in love with his boss. And it's actually my thesis project. So Audrey Romero is going to be playing Made Nusa live in person. You can come see us in Fayetteville, Arkansas. So thank you for like letting us be a part of this, because we are obviously not on the East Coast. But yeah, it'll be up September 30th through October 9th at University of Arkansas.
Wow. Daniela, can you talk about your piece?
Sure. I'm also in an MFA program, and this is the opening of the play that I'm working on for my thesis project. I just it's making fun of really intense subjects, and going through a fertility journey can sometimes feel like being on a game show and like, will you get there or not, and all this stuff. So I decided to have fun with it. Because I was trying to write it as creative nonfiction, and that just was a big bummer. So now it's more fun and humor. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, hopefully it was fun for you guys to watch it. I don't know.
Yes, definitely. Nelson?
Yeah, no, my piece is also comes from a horror piece. It's a cosmic horror piece where we link the idea of cosmic horror of this thing that is so big that will drive us insane to colonialism, because as a Puerto Rican, like, I still don't understand how we let it happen to us for this long, and how we still live, and how we don't even know how to deal with it. So this piece tries to like celebrate the culture, and at the same time try to, I don't know, enlighten or not educate, but enlighten about our situation. But you know, with a good old horror spin and monsters and all that, and tentacles all over the place, you know, good old fun.
And Deanna, your piece is really special for me personally, because you and I had a conversation for SolFest, and we were trying to think what would be something that would be good to share during SolFest. And I did talk about the way I was feeling with Roe versus Wade, and how I was really motivated to kind of create work that was in response to that. And I love that you immediately you and I connected on that, and you created this monologue in such a short time, because you're also thinking about doing a project later on. So please talk about the inspiration for your piece.
Yeah, I have to thank you for that too, because I was really wondering how to approach it. So this is going to be a new series of pieces that I will gather the way that I did a piece called the COVID monologues, which I gathered playwrights from all over the country to write about people who passed away from COVID. And it was a wonderful project, I think, as part of a connection point. It also created a lot of monologues, and so it did a lot of wonderful work, as well as some social justice work. With Roe and with the conversation we had, I've been thinking about launching the same thing with these abortion chronicles, and creating another social justice piece, but that also serves as a showcase for Latina writers, and also, as something that actors can do, so it serves a lot of purposes. So that conversation we had was so great, because it gave me, especially because you asked me, what do you think about writing about something maybe not, I think you even said about like fertility and a wanted child, and I thought, oh, that's a really interesting jumping off point. So let me see where I can go from there. So yeah, that's where that came from.
Awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely fertility, third party, because a lot of people may not be aware that it is affecting other areas of family building. Those that are currently going IVF or looking at other ways to build a family, it is affecting everyone in that way. Audrey, you've been working on this piece for a while now. How was it? How are you feeling about it? Did you discover anything during the rehearsal process, or how was it? The Zoom is kind of weird. I know it's tech. It's a different world, but were there any new things that you discovered about the character?
Oh, absolutely. The first time doing this play, it was a virtual reading, so we had some experience. I had some experience of working with the camera and playing with this character. Both times that I've done this show, it was virtually. So I'm so excited to. I was able to work on this piece with a director that was new to the play, and that was really helping me tell the story, making things more clear. So I definitely found new things with the character, something that grounded me more with who she is. And it was just fun playing with my body, playing with the movement, and getting ready to do the performance. We start rehearsals in a few weeks. So this was just a perfect workshop for it.
Oh, that's great. And the director of your piece was Katherine George. So shout out to Katherine George, who did a wonderful job. That's great. And then also the way you were able to play with the camera, right? Because we looked at for different types of moments where you could play, like even just the coming in and everything. Which we also found with Teodoro. So with Teodoro's piece, it seemed like it was like the perfect monologue because he was recording an Instagram post. So it really worked well with the piece. Let's see. Ed, so how about you? How was it working on this piece?
Oh, it was great. It was fantastic. This piece is centered around something like I'm very just passionate about regarding just Puerto Rico, its entire history. As a Puerto Rican, you feel me? BX diaspora Rican though, but just that tied, just that had me extremely invested, particularly with my character being an Afro Latino in this circumstance also, and the things that come with that. And Nelson put a lot of I wish I could have read the whole play for y'all, mother. There's so many just layers in it, and just how people have operated dealing with imperialism, colonialism, just how Latinx people have been racialized, and how confusing this shit be, and how fucked up it is, and how other people get. And then you tie it in with just the mythical horror tentacle shit, and it's like, oh nah, yeah, this shit is lit. It was a lot of fun. Working with Katherine was great. The monologue is beautiful. The character I got to read for Iacinti was he carried a lot of love, a lot of energy, a lot of light. Like his heart was really like in this shit, and it reminds me of me when I was like a little younger and I had a little bit more hope in the world.
Yes. We have a couple comments happening in the chat. So we have a shout out from Rosalba, who's saying that it was incredible work. Nisa has a question, so I'm going to put it here on the screen. And her question is, I'm curious to hear about the tech process for this and how did you do this live without any glitches? What a compliment. And that's an amazing compliment. Like with any live event, there's always the possibility that something can happen. There's always things going on behind the scene. I think we were very lucky that everyone's had a steady stream, because that does happen. Rehearsing the pieces helped. So working on them the week before, that we did a quick run of the show beforehand. But this was, I mean, you're dealing with very talented people who can handle any tech glitches that come along. But we were very lucky. But that's the thing with live events. You never know what's going to happen. But thank you for that compliment. That means a lot to all of us, right? Because we're always nervous about what may happen. We got some, so David Davila, who's also watching, is giving a shout out. So thank you, David, for that. Frankie Gonzalez, who's also part of SolFest. I'm just going to put this comment here. Amazing work. This is wonderful. Okay, great. Oh, okay. So let me ask you, Carlos. So this play, because I first heard of it because you were having the production, right? You had the production.
It was developed with Playpen.
Oh, with Playpen.
Mm-hmm.
Great. And is there a future production of this that you can speak of, or not yet? There's nothing.
I mean, I would love for that to happen. I think the project is a very visually demanding one, so I'm interested in like video design dramaturgy for this. So there's like different groups I'm interested in, like Night Swimming, based in Toronto. I also, I'm interested in creating a process that feels a lot like a devised theater process that's very like open-ended. And so I'm working with great people like Santi, Iacinti, and Ali Gonzalez, who are really open collaborators, who are really like putting a lot of passion into what it is. So I think it's hard. It's one of the things that's hard to do to convey on stage is horror. Like I think horror is actually it feels like a kind of a difficult genre, and that's part of the reason why you don't see it on stage. So I'm interested in sort of like looking at those elements and how to manifest that in live performance. And those are some of the future goals, I think. But also I don't want to speak for Santi or Ali because they may also have other ideas.
That's amazing. And Daniela, this the piece that you shared with us, it's fairly new, yes?
Yeah, I wrote it. I finished. I think it's like a couple months old, like in May. But I've been tweaking it a little bit. I had someone read it with other crew members doing things around, and it's kind of funny. It's like the pre-show before the game show starts. But yeah, it's relatively new. I have to finish the rest of the play now.
And Nelson, what about the history of your play? Because I know that you recently had.
Yeah, no, I wrote it with Pipeline Theater Company. I had it in my mind, and they're like that company that don't tell you no. So I was like, I'm just gonna go in, and, so we had the reading like a month and a half ago. I wish Ed could have been the freaking Jacinto for my reading.
Oh, no.
he was doing it in. He was in soft during the time, so he was good. He was eating good at the time, so he's done well. But next time, he definitely I want him to read the whole play. He can play every character if he wants to too. But yeah, we are working on looking for a workshop production right now. There's some talks and stuff like that, but let's
It's
see where it
moving. It's
goes.
moving in that direction, right?
Yeah, it's there's people that are interested. It's like I agree with Carlos. Doing horror, is not hard. It's just so much fun because you just have to use lighting and you just have to find a way. And there's I think the idea of being in an intimate room and scaring a whole place and they can't even leave is great. I think it's let's just do it. Carlos, you and I, let's scare a lot of people in the next 2 years.
I would love that.
What made both of you look into that genre or into horror?
I mean, I would say I felt like it came from a feeling. Well, it felt like so I feel like horror is always attached to a larger like social fear, like it's attached to something bigger than just the horror. And I always feel like terrified in a lot of Latinx spaces or feeling like out of place or feeling disjointed from them. So I wanted to write a play about that kind of jarring, like I guess like third culture kid experience. But also reflecting on the fact that there is an enormous difference between someone of my generation who was born here versus someone in Honduras who went through a very different experience and has a very different conception of what is scary. Felt like an important thing. So there's like the two teenagers have their own very different experiences, and that's shaping a little bit of their world. So yeah, that's how I think about horror, as like kind of like a part of a bigger social fear.
I'm just a horror fiend. I love horror. I always love horror. I haven't written that much. I have just one play besides this that kind of dabble in horror, but ultimately for me it's like what he said exactly. It's like the idea of horror that is like this social commentary most of the time. And just to the idea of like when I was writing this play, I had just written a play about folkloric Puerto Rican characters that was like a Goonies meets Into the Woods, that Lord of the Rings, that at the end, they fight Uncle Sam and all that. And it was like a fun adventure. So I wanted to go to the beginning of that, which will be when the United States came to Puerto Rico. And when I thought about the title 1898 and I thought about them, it's like, for me, it's just horror. The idea that when the United States came to Puerto Rico at the first, they were telling everybody, you're going to be independent. We're just transitioning. We're just going to help you. And all of a sudden, they started taking over and a hurricane took over, destroy all their plantations. And then, they put all the sugar, took over Puerto Rico. And they tried to kill our culture, which didn't happen. And this play talks about that. Didn't happen because of our Black culture, our Black connection. It's so strong that we kept our culture. But the idea of the beginning for me, it's you don't know what's gonna happen. And I mean, 120 years later, we're still there. So when I thought about the origin of Puerto Rico in the U.S., there was only one genre for me.
Wow. And Adrienne, can you talk a little bit about where kind of this piece stands in comparison to other pieces that you've written?
No, I'm just laughing because before, this piece happened, I was in an adaptation class in 2020, early 2020. And while I was doing the adaptation piece, which became This Bitch, I was working on a play about dystopian police brutality and a mother keeping her Black son in a bunker underground for safety reasons. So I was in a really dark, I was like, I'm going to finally talk about this. This is the play I'm going to do. COVID happened, all of the murders and uprisings happened. And I was like, I cannot, as a writer, be in lockdown writing about a person, because this character is this beautiful little boy who's beautiful and curious. It was just I emotionally couldn't do it. So then I just completely pivoted into this. And it was I get to write an escape. I get to write beautiful Black and Latina people on the beach, falling in love, being stupid, joke, play with farce. And really since the pandemic, I was gonna say pandemia, since the pandemic, I've just been in farce landia. Everything I've been writing has just been for me about escape and joy, and recognizing like how important that is, in addition to all of the things that we need to talk about. It's I think they're all important. And so I've just been having a lot of fun, and I think that's hopefully going to translate for an audience and just be a lot of fun as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
And Diana, you're one of those names that I see all the time. I feel like you write so much and so fast, and it's just and you're also a performer. So I'm always seeing that you also work in that capacity. Can you tell me a little bit about like the type of work that you enjoy creating? And
yeah, well, it's great too, because both Adrienne and Nelson and I mean, we met doing a thing in Portland, right? So I always love these connections. It's and Frankie said it. It's like, it's such a beautiful thing to see. And well, for me, like right now, I'm working on a play that's called Beheading Columbus, which is a little bit about what Nelson's right. You know, it's a little bit about all of this, but it's also a comedy. And what I like doing the most is writing work, because I did come up as an actor. Writing work for Latina people to come on stage where they're not doing stereotypes, where they're being beautiful, and like you say, they're having lives and maybe joy, and and it's not all about trauma. That's what I really like to do. And I feel like here in LA, especially, LA is such a, ay Dios mío, okay, I'm trying to think, like, how do I beep 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 beep
beep beep beep.
beep 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 beep. But I get to be in these some of these spaces that are very predominantly white institutions, and so I think I'm being really, really mindful of, like, I bring in Latina directors, Latina actors, of course, Latina, any designers that I can bring in, and just be super mindful. And when you get pushback about experience and stuff like that, to always be just like, no, y qué? That's who I want, So I think that's what I'm having the most fun with, is like getting really stubborn and saying, no, I really like that person, please. So, yeah.
Thank you. Kehlani, thank you. I'm so glad I was able to bring you on. So Kehlani worked for SolFest as an intern in, what was it, 2020?
Yeah, 2020.
2020, and is joining us this year as the SolFest dramaturg as well. Has really loved working with SolFest, and I have loved working with you, Kehlani. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, because you are a student, and right, we have, all of us may have some mutual connections.
Yeah.
Acquaintances.
Yeah. So I'm a student at Princeton. I'm going into my senior year, so I've been working with Adriana and SolFest since right after my freshman year. So it's been really fun getting to come back. And I had never done dramaturgy before. It was something that Adriana kind of introduced me to, and she was like, do you want to do this? It aligns with your like interest in doing research and all of these things. And I was like, sure. So it's just been really fun. And this year's been really special because last year was hybrid, but this year it's like hybrid again. But we have like all these shorter pieces, which was interesting to like be able to come into the rehearsals and kind of just work on these smaller pieces. Like I remember one that we were doing, like Adrienne's in Adrienne's rehearsal. We were like trying to find music that was like waves, and like it was like Love Island and this and that. So it's just been really fun getting to work on everything in the spot, and then also go to the in-person rehearsals as well, the longer pieces, which I hope everyone comes tomorrow and Wednesday as well in person, because those are really fun. But yeah, so sorry, I don't know if I answered your question about like.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I just wanted everyone to get to put a face to your name, because you've been such an incredible support during this festival, and I just wanted to make sure that people got to meet you. So I'm going to put a couple of other comments that have come in. So Daniela, is a shout out to Nelson. Yadira is also watching and was commenting on Daniela's piece. David Davila, just all around amazing to all the performers. And so before we head on out, I just wanted to see if anyone had any things they wanted to amplify, any work that's coming up down the line, or even any organizations that they want to spotlight that they feel strongly about. So let's start with Daniela.
Yeah, so I happen to be directing this play, the reading, and Adriana's like my co-director for SolFest happening Wednesday night. Oscar Cabrera's play, Bonnet Blues. It's really beautiful. Oh my God, we are all crying. The actors, like, just I barely had to do anything. Like, even the first read through was just really powerful. So it's 7:30 on Wednesday, and beyond that, no, I'm around, I'm available, and trying to finish my play in the next couple months. Yeah.
Thank you. And Adrienne? I know you mentioned your, the thesis, but what do you have anything else?
I was like, come see us in Fayetteville. I don't know why you would be in Fayetteville, but maybe you would. We'd love to take you out and have a party, hang out. But also, if you're in Austin, Texas, my play Costa, which is modern, which was at Portland, actually. Yeah, that's why we're all getting excited. But yeah, Costa's finally having its world premiere with Salvage Vanguard Theater, October 20th through 30th, and we're at the Blanton Museum of Art. So we have like a really weird schedule. It's all like 2 p.m., but we're a part of an exhibit that will be having real Costa paintings. So it's going to be a really interesting event. So see you in Austin or see you in Fayetteville.
Awesome. Ed, do you have any things coming up?
Yeah. I'm gonna be in a production at this theater called The Brick in Brooklyn. It's called Blue Fire Burns the Hottest. It's written by Marissa Joyce Stamps. We're gonna be running in September, and can't wait. It's gonna be lit. I'm gonna be doing something at EST, I think, and something written by Dominic Cologne, which is gonna be lit. And my last little plug, yo, New York Boricua Resistance is holding an orientation this Saturday from 3 to 5 p.m. in Bushwick. All my Boricuas, all my Puerto Ricans who's pro-independence to the left gang, pull up, come through. We need to fight the fight. Free us till they free us, man.
Thank you. And Audrey?
Yeah, so I will be playing Madenusa in this bitch, Esta Sangre Quiero. Right now, I'm a full-time actor and resident teacher at a children's theater in Bentonville. So if y'all want to see some Three Billy Goats gruff or Tortoise in the Hair, bilingual Tortuga in the Hair, y'all could catch me in Bentonville.
Wait, I forgot one more thing.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Yo, I got a thing this Thursday. It's an excerpt of all shit I've written. It's called Some Different Shit at the Jane Ballroom in the West motherfucking Village. It's like 3 different pieces. We got a DJ, we got a bar, all that. Bring your masks. You feel me? It's crazy outside. Yeah, this Thursday. It's Thursday. Doors open at 7. Come through, y'all. I'm sorry, I sound like shit. This Thursday.
No, you forgot the one thing you wrote. That's the one you forgot.
Audrey, did you want to add anything to what you were saying?
Nope, that was it.
Okay. And Diana?
Yeah, so I have the Beheading Columbus is getting a reading here in Los Angeles at the Geffen at the end of September, which is exciting. But the thing I'm super, super excited about in San Antonio, at the Public Theater of San Antonio, which is headed by the fantastic Claudia de Vasco, my play Fabulous Monsters is going to be getting its premiere with the music of Fea, the most incredible punk band you've ever heard is writing the music, and the music is just off the hook. So I'm just like beyond excited to see how that's going to work out.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Carlos?
Currently I'm developing a play about the gay bear community in Philadelphia. And it started out that way, and then it became about how mad I am at white gay men and how it's about that. And I'm also developing another play about a church of loneliness, where people kind of gather and sort of talk about celebrate loneliness in a kind of dystopian world, where there's an intimacy crisis going on. So those are some projects that I'm developing right now, and you'll be hearing about them in the future.
Great. Nelson?
So just a few on the immediate. Well, funny that Cast is going up. So the World Classic, which is the one that got me to Portland. Casta was the one that she was doing in Portland at the same time. Um, World Classic is having a reading at the Fulton Theater in Lancaster, on the big regional theater over there. That's coming up on the 19th or 20th. One of those days. I should check the date, but it's one of those days. So that's coming up. Then I have a reading of my other semi horror play about basically rape culture, Calling to the River I Went. That's on September 30th in New York City. And then I got to shout out, obviously, my Latinx Play by Circle family and organization. If you ever need to develop your play, looking for a space that is like accepting of all types of Latinos and all Caribbeans and anything, however you identify, you're welcome. Come through. We develop your play. We make sure that you feel good, and we make sure that you eat good. So come through whenever you're ready. So Latinx Play by Circle and my 2 shows. Come through and come to, just making sure everybody know, come to Different Shit on Thursday on the West Village. Before anybody forget it, go there. Yeah, some of my
That's
plugs.
awesome. And Nelson, you have a little special place in my heart as well, because when we had to do SolFest online, we were trying to be creative and try to find like, how can we have that connection, that community? And we ended up doing a virtual dance party online, and Nelson was our fantastic DJ.
Club Casa. I miss it. I miss Club Casa.
It was really great. I mean, it's just, during that time when you wanted to have that connection with people, and then we just danced it out. So it was wonderful. So Kehlani and I are going to be there in person at Pregones Puerto Rican Traveling Theater. We start our in-live readings tomorrow. So we have a reading tomorrow. The Jersey Devil is a Papi Chulo. We have a monologue by Frankie Gonzalez. And we have a fantastic scene by Nancy Garcia Loza. And then on Wednesday, like Daniela mentioned, we get to hear Oscar's play, Bonnet Blues. So we have and an excerpt of Aloha Boricua by Pregones Puerto Rican Traveling Theater. So it is a very exciting lineup. We are also happy that we're able to be in person for the event. And then online, we're going to be streaming 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Garcia, directed by Vicky Collado. And there's also another panel that I'm going to put online. It was supposed to go earlier on today, but we got into such a long conversation that I kind of switched up the schedule of it. And that is with Black HMU United, which is a wonderful organization that I hope you'll tune in and tune in on the panel to hear about the amazing work that they're doing as far as the hair and makeup industry and things that they're doing to change things for us. So I want to thank you again for watching. Thank you, all of you here, for being on the panel. This has been wonderful. Please don't go off. I'm going to end the stream, but I want to thank you, have a moment with all of you. And everyone who's watching, again, thank you for joining us in SolFest. If you need to see what the lineup is, just go to soulproject.org, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.